Welcome to Nasdaq Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq. EDM Council, the leading trade association for data management, has launched the Cloud Data Management Capabilities Best Practices Workgroup to address challenges the financial sector faces with cloud adoption. Joining me this afternoon to discuss are John Bottega, President of EDM Council, and Mike Meriton, co-founder and COO of EDM Council. It's great to have you both with us. And Mike, I'd like to kick it off with you. Tell us more about the EDM Council and who your members are.
Sure, Jill, and again, thanks for inviting us, and good to be speaking today. So the EDM Council is the leading nonprofit global trade association, and we're dedicated to the advancement of data and analytics. We started in 2005, but today now we have 200 firms, 10,000 plus professionals. All segments of the financial industry are represented globally, so tier ones, tier twos, buy side, sell side, security services, exchanges, et cetera. And recently, we've actually expanded and added chapters in manufacturing, healthcare, automotive, because everyone is struggling in managing data assets. What we do for members is we provide best practices and frameworks to help them drive their programs forward, standards, training programs for their colleagues and staff, because a lot of the data management techniques are newer in the industry, and of course, bring a community together. And everything we do, our largest currency is our neutrality. As a nonprofit, we bring all the different parties to the table, including regulators that are a part of our membership as well. So we help build our products that way.
John, what challenges do firms in the financial sector face with cloud adoption?
So again, thanks, Jill. The tremendous move towards cloud now, you're seeing across all industries, including finance. But first and foremost would be organizations want to move to the cloud successfully. So they want to take advantage of all the capabilities cloud provides, so access, transparency, interoperability of data, and so forth. So with all of this movement and huge amounts of data, they want to see that this happens in an appropriate way. And they also want to do it efficiently. What we saw and what kind of spawned this activity was everybody's doing it on their own, so they're reinventing the wheel a lot. So we have an opportunity to bring the stakeholders together and come up with an approach that would make it more efficient. The other is the obvious privacy issues, protection of data. As we move more data to cloud, it may be vulnerable, so we want to make sure that that's done in an efficient way and leverage all the great tools that are out in the industry right now. And third is we're going to see pressure from regulation to ensure that everybody's doing it properly. So all three of those together, if we come up with the right approach, we should be able to hit all of those in that approach.
Mike, let's discuss the Cloud Data Management Capabilities Best Practices Workgroup. What is it designed to do, and why is this a big development?
Sure. Well, a little bit of context, Jill. A little bit earlier, about 4 or 5 months ago, we were actually approached by one of our active member firms, Morgan Stanley, and they were working on an internal set of principles on how to sort of manage the process of accelerating and moving data assets into the cloud, but do it in a really thoughtful, structured way. They were working with several of the major cloud providers like Google and Amazon. And then the feedback was, well, instead of us each doing this one-off, as John mentioned, let's try to form a work group of companies to actually accelerate this and build an industry view, not a single point of a company point of view. So we fired off this work group. What was really exciting for us is all 4 major cloud companies, so Amazon Web Services, Google Cloud, Microsoft Azure, and IBM with hybrid cloud all came to the table where normally they compete against each other and have put each about a half a dozen engineers to work on this work group initiative. And what it is to essentially take major elements of the things you need to worry about to bring things into the cloud and launch in cloud. Everything for how you catalog the data, how you classify it, how you manage the life cycle, and have a very structured mechanism that's scorable. So cloud companies can hear what are those requirements, and they can hear an industry view and build it into their products and accelerate that. And then the individual institutions can use the framework to essentially accelerate their adoption as well. So today, and this was a surprise at how many companies wanted to be involved. It's 58 different companies. Over 30 are financial services firms throughout the world. The top 4 cloud companies, we have quite a few technology firms involved as well. And it's over 160 members. And the way we've organized this framework's build-out process is we're leveraging a lot of the work the council had done historically with DCAM. It's a data management framework we already brought into the market. But now for cloud, we're using this as sort of an accelerator and then building 90-day sprints. Every 90 days, this group has prioritized top topics that they want to build out, make it scoreable, get that feedback, and then bring it into their own operations. And then ultimately, over a few of these 90-day sprints, the entire framework would be complete and then published into the market. Our commitment, by the way, as a trade association, is we're making this framework a free license that people will be able to use so it can be highly adopted and then brought not just to financial markets, but down the road, which John will cover more about.
All right, John, and that's what I want to wrap with you. What is the CDMC work group's ultimate goal?
Well, it is the goal of the council to bring value to its members and bring value to really important topical issues around data and technology. Cloud right now is first and foremost in front of most organizations. So simply the goal is to benefit the industry, to bring a best practice model so the entire industry across all industries, again, not just finance, but other industries, to take advantage of this cloud capability and do it in an efficient manner. So, as a trade association, again, if we bring the best minds together, we feel pretty confident we can produce a really good product.
Yeah, Joe, one thing to add is, in organizing a 160-person work group virtually, we've had some really great support. So a combination of Morgan Stanley and Refinitiv have volunteered to be co-chairs to help us in organizing the sub-teams. We've had another member firm, Capco, volunteered project management. We actually have a 3-tier structure. So we have weekly meetings for the lowest tier, bi-weekly, monthly meetings, so that we run this as a really organized and efficient project. And the good news is we've already started to approve segments along the way. So we're not waiting for a big bang, but instead trying to deliver pieces of value along the way.
Yeah, it's really exciting work. Mike, John, thanks so much for joining us on Trade Talks.
Thanks, Jill.
Awesome. Thank you.
And thanks for joining me. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq.